of coordinated, sustained national assault on voting isn't an esoteric thing. It isn't an idea. It isn't a plan. It is happening. It is concrete and nuts and bolts and hard to counteract. Fighting for these kinds of rights, fighting back, is about how we decide things in America. It is at the level of sinew and bone. This is a structural thing. This is deep and national. And sometimes it comes down to decisions that are very, very, very individual and very local. We've been bringing you the story of two county clerks in Colorado, where the new Republican Secretary of State has ordered the counties not to send ballots to voters who would usually expect to get them. In Denver, the voters happen to live in heavily Hispanic neighborhoods. Anybody who hadn't voted since the big election in 2010 or re-upped their registration, no ballot for you. In Pueblo County, the voters happen to be also U.S. troops overseas who would usually get sent a ballot, but who the Republican Secretary of State in Colorado said he wanted left out of the ballot mailings this year. On Friday, a judge ruled against the Republican Secretary of State in Colorado in a hearing on the Denver case. He ruled that Denver's ballots could get mailed out to those disproportionately Hispanic voters. And as we reported exclusively on Friday night, in Pueblo County, the clerk there heard that verdict. He was in the courtroom. He heard the judge's verdict. And without waiting for more details, he got on the phone to his office and told them to send out those ballots to those troops. Send out the military ballots. This is what fighting back sometimes looks like, right? It is a national fight. There's obviously a national plan at work here. But sometimes stopping this stuff, sometimes standing up to this stuff, comes down to one person, one official, doing what he or she believes is the right thing to do and doing it right away. Joining us now is Gilbert Ortiz. He's the Pueblo County clerk and recorder who earlier this month was ordered by Colorado Secretary of State not to send ballots to military personnel overseas. He joins us live from Colorado. Mr. Ortiz, thank you for making time to join us tonight.
Thank you.
Last week, moments after the court ruling, I know our office spoke with you and we learned that you had sent those ballots out to troops overseas. Was that a hard decision for you to make? Did you know you would do that when that verdict came down that night?
I knew exactly I would do that. It was my intention since the beginning of this whole process to send those ballots out to military overseas voters. And so it was an exciting moment for me and my staff, and I made that call as soon as I was able to.
We have been looking at this issue of voting rights in terms of its effect on electoral politics, literally on elections. In your role as county clerk, how do you see this? Do you feel like this is unfolding in a partisan manner? Is this a technocratic issue to you? How do you see these changes that have been the Secretary of State has been trying to put in place in Colorado this year?
You know, in Pueblo County, I really concentrate on our own voters, and it's always been my intent as a election official to send ballots out to everybody that's registered and to make the voting process available to them. And it's something that I'm passionate about, and I think all clerks in Colorado are passionate about. And you know, we're not paying attention so much to the political side or the reasons behind it. We just know that we want to send ballots to registered voters in Colorado counties.
Mr. Ortiz, have you, in your capacity as clerk and recorder in Pueblo County, have you ever had to deal with the problem of voter fraud, of voter impersonation fraud, or any other kind of voter fraud by troops serving overseas?
It's never happened. I can't imagine that it would happen. Here our troops are overseas, and they deserve a ballot. They're out there defending democracy for all of us, and the least we can do as election officials is to send them a ballot and make them part of the process.
In terms of, I hear what you say, sir, about not focusing on the politics of this. Your job is to run the elections, not to make sure they go any particular way. But I wonder, since you've been involved in this, what's turning out to be a real fight in Colorado, a real difference of opinion here and being fought out in court and other places, do you feel like you have the support of the people who you serve, the support of Pueblo County in your stand to try to get ballots out to the people of the county in as I guess, quick and seamless a way as possible?
I do. You know, we made intergovernmental agreements with all our participating entities early on in the process. They all agreed in the contract to send ballots out to inactive fail-to-vote voters. You know, just walking around Pueblo County recently and in the grocery store with my family, I've gotten a lot of support, a lot of pats on the back for what we're doing. And I've gotten a lot of phone calls nationally from veterans groups and from veterans themselves thanking me for continuing to fight for their right to vote. So it's been great. It's been very difficult to deal with this every day. I'm used to dealing with just ballots and elections, and the political spotlight's a little difficult, but I'm excited for what we've done and the fight that we've brought.
Gilbert Ortiz, Pueblo County, Colorado clerk and recorder. Thank you for your time tonight, sir. I know that this fight is not over in Pueblo County and in Colorado at large. We'd love to stay in touch with you as this all progresses.
I'd love that, Rachel. Thank you.
Thanks very much. All right. Melissa Harris Perry joins us next. Please stay with us.